Talking to Jen and Fox from TEMTRIS. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us, Mel.
Hey, great to be here, Mel.
Anytime, you're more than welcome. Been very busy lately. Let's talk about all things TEMTRIS. Firstly, let's wrap up previous album. How did that go for you? How fun was touring it? Was it fun? Any challenges you faced?
Ritual Warfare. Yeah, Ritual Warfare was an interesting release to do that through COVID and try and tour through COVID. So that was a whole new ball game for us to try and organise shows through that, risk booking a tour and then playing a tour, and having some of the shows sit-down shows, some of the shows people were allowed to stand up. I remember we played at the Basement at Canberra, and Canberra had a giant sign on their projector on the wall saying "Sit the fuck down," which was pretty freaking hilarious.
And then when we got back to Canberra to do a show later on, when they lifted the restrictions and of course the sign was gone, we had a chant going all night of "Stand the fuck up." So
it's the most fucking bizarre thing ever, isn't it? I went and saw a show at Enigma, and like I was sitting in the front row with my feet on the stage.
Yeah.
And there's fucking hidden intent, a meter away from me. And you have to sit down. It's the most fucking bizarre thing ever.
It was utterly ridiculous. The whole, well, I don't want to get too political in here, but you know where I stand with all this. The whole spectacle was a fucking joke, to put it plainly. Yep. But anyway, we won't give that any time or attention that it really deserves. All I can say is that Ritual Warfare tour still worked. We still sold plenty of albums. It was still hugely successful. The reviews were amazing. The fans loved the last album, and so we were very nervous when it came to writing a new album. And we actually did write this new album while the concept came together while we were in lockdown.
Yeah. With the recording of the new album, how affected was the band? Were you able to get all together and do it as a band, or is that not how you do it anyway?
It was very collaborative this time. We worked out a lot of stuff with the Ritual Warfare album. Nardi had come on board. Nick had come on board. So we had some new guys there for Ritual Warfare. But by the time it came around to the next album, we had worked through how those guys like to write. Nardi had contributed Always United to Ritual Warfare album. And Nick had contributed the ballad.
I like seeing you try and remember stuff.
So many songs now. Anyway, the slower song off the Ritual Warfare album, whose title escapes me right now, but I'll think of it later. Nick had contributed that, and he writes a very different way to Nardi does. So it was really good because in my position in the band, I sort of sit in the hub, and then writing comes in, and I'm there to sort of arrange and help gel everything together and make parts work and apply my knowledge to it. This time around, that was very much the way it worked. I sort of sat in the center. I did my things as well. There's a couple of songs on there that have my name against them. And I got those out of the way quite early on to establish the stylistic theme and the sounds we were sort of going for with the rest of the album. Being a concept album, we needed the music to sort of be well gelled together and carry the themes throughout. So there's different motifs that pop up in different songs that represent different parts of the story. And then all the guys just went to town and just wrote, and Nardi was throwing riffs and song pieces. He tends to write in chunks of pieces, and then we blend them together and make them work, or flesh them out into full songs. And Nick's more of a I've got this melody in my head, let's work it out. So he and I just sat down and just ripped through all the musical part of the path, and put that whole song together. And then it went over to Jen, who did a really good job this time, both bringing vocals start songs to initiate a writing process, where she just had written a whole vocal lyric part that matched the story, and then also being given fully written pieces like the path and okay, here's the part it represents in the story. Write something that is going to help tell that part of the story, and she would take that away and do that. So there's a lot of flexibility going on in the writing, but it was really, really cool to work.
It came together
like that.
really, really easily this time. Everyone was just right. It all just slotted in so well. It was nice.
So when did this album actually get wrapped? Just been released, so when did it get wrapped? How did you go planning a release date and tour? I'd imagine it was a little bit easier this time than last time.
Look, I basically reached out to Carlo saying we had an idea, a concept, you know, we want to do another album. He straight away jumped on board, was keen to re-release or release another album for us, gave us a date he wanted it all by and to be ready by, which was probably about 3 months earlier than we had planned in our heads, which was a little, I'm going to the boys, you know how we wanted to have everything ready in December? Well, we need it ready September, October, and everyone's like, ah!
Yeah, a couple of deep breaths. All right.
And of course, the fans were like, okay, so you're releasing an album, we want it now. And it's like, it doesn't work like that.
No.
We've got to, you know, record it. You've got to do press release, you've got to do pressing. You've got to, like, stuff slowed down because of COVID still. It still takes a long time to get things made. One thing we have noticed is it is really expensive to get stuff made this time around. It's cost us a lot of money for getting albums made, even shirts made, and, you know, $600 to get CDs posted to us from Italy. Like, that's just a cost we've had to absorb, you know, and it's tough for bands at the moment. It's tough because it's expensive to tour and keep things moving, but we believed in our product. We believe what we've got is you know, and it's showing in the reviews. I mean, we're always nervous about what people are going to say about the music when we release it, but the reviews we're getting back are being amazing. So I'm glad we stuck to our guns, and I've booked this huge tour, and that's all come together. And now we're even booking tours overseas, which is a whole nother level for me again. New learning.
And it was unusual. We did wrap the album up by September. It was done. It was in the can. But then we then had that long period. We're not used to that. We used to rush, get it done, pump it out, send artwork flying left, right, and center. It is like 2 or 3 weeks of absolute hectic work, and then the album's out, and we're off, and we're playing shows. This time it was like, done. Okay, we've got to wait now until this and this and this, and then when the final release date came back as March, we're like, oh wow, that's going to be really tricky to sit on something for that long and just sort of wait. So I mean, it made sense once we sort of looked at the schedule of the single releases and everything that Wormhole Death was trying to do to build the release of the album. But it was definitely a change for us, not what we're used to.
Yeah.
And we haven't been bored. We have not I have not stopped since that first single release came out. I've had non-stop interviews coming in for the band and myself. We have had I literally have been sitting up till 11 o'clock most nights working. It's been crazy, and it's still going, and I've never seen the momentum in our band like this before. So it's very surreal. We tried to stop after the gig last night when we got home from Sydney, and we got in the backyard, sat in our spa where we started, and thought of the first concept of this album with a glass of champagne that our friends had bought us to say congratulations on the album. And my phone was still going, ding, ding, ding. Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm going, I can't even stop. I'm like trying to take a night off, and it just doesn't happen at the moment. I mean, and that's a good thing, but it's just, it is. It has been full on. So
it's better than the opposite. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right, now, concept album. Let's talk about that. I sort of know where it's going to go. How did you end up with how did you come across the story, and how did you go filling it out, and what is it about? can we talk about that without
well,
getting
like I
too
said,
political?
we were sitting in the backyard in a lockdown and contemplating life, and I was listening to Somewhere in Time by Iron Maiden, and I said to Fox, we need to do a more modern, futuristic kind of album. We haven't touched that area yet. Let's do a concept album with a chick character, because we always have girls in the front of our albums. I said, that'd be really cool. Let's do something modern. And Fox was like, yeah, that'd be a good idea. So we sort of threw it to the boys, and this story got built.
it grew very quickly. Nick, the drummer, already had from years ago scripted out something that he himself had just been writing down as sort of almost like a screenplay, which he said, oh, that's remarkably similar. I mean, it wasn't the same, but there were elements there that even he was able to go, well, I had this and this and this. And so we had down in our studio at this property, we've got a big fridge that sits downstairs. It's the beer fridge. But everything gets written on the fridge. So we gradually write ideas and people write stuff, and we've got markers down there. So we got to the point where the fridge was just covered in ideas, names, song titles, lyrics, concepts, character names, it was great. When we'd filled it, we're looking at it just sort of going, I think we've got enough now. We better actually start pulling this together. But the concept itself, going back just to Ritual Warfare for a moment, the Ritual Warfare album, we'd done it was quite aggressive. There's a lot more sort of thrash, heavier elements in that album because of the content of it. And it had been so well received. We sort of took a step back and went, well, if people want to hear us do heavier stuff, they can sort of buy that album, and that's heavier stuff. That's TEMTRIS doing heavier stuff. So we don't want to do that again. Let's see if we can just go a bit more melodic. Let's go a bit more musical. And that, again, was part of the storytelling element. If we're going to go there, we've always written songs that try to musically match the lyrics and the theme of the song. So we thought, well, it's just a matter of building that up into a full story. 9 songs, 10 songs, however, we ended up with 9, but it could have been any amount that we needed just to get the story told. And then, as I said, threading elements through, and there was a whole range of different musical techniques that I'd been looking forward to using for a while, but had never found the opportunity to do so. So when the concept album came along, it was like, yeah, we can do motifs, we can do these things. We mucked around with voiceovers, things like that. So a lot of stuff didn't make it to the final product, but even just the fact that we were mucking around with them was really rewarding and great for our own growth as musicians.
But yeah, the concept itself is, of course, we have this female character, and she lives in a world that is run by governments and people who have money, and basically you have sold your soul to work, and part of their life over in this world is you will take a drug and you will live an almost eternal life, but for that you must sell your soul to working and not needing to sleep. And the basic concept is, how are you really living if you have sold your soul away to working for your life? And and you may live forever, but is it really living for forever?
Yeah, and the concept of a lot of dystopian sort of movies and storybooks, they always have that element of reality to them. And I mean, we are faced with a reality when we put this together. It's very, very clear that even if tomorrow a pharmaceutical company did come up with a cure for death, they're not just going to free sale, here you go, you're all, welcome human race, you're all going to live forever. It would be packaged, it'd be marketed, and you would definitely be paying $sign for it. They'd get something out of it. So that was a great way to build a dystopian world around that, because it's not that far away from the truth of the way it would go anyway. Obviously, then we add on a few elements that are fairly extreme to the story to make it a bit more interesting, because no one really wants to be reminded that pharmaceutical companies do what they do. So make it fun, make the story engaging, build it over the top like a lot of dystopian places do, and go right into the extremes of that sort of thing, which is the fun of working in those sort of environments.
Yeah. Well, so the album came out just the other day. I like it. You're obviously
Right.
getting good reviews for it. So how did the launch show go the other night?
Oh, awesome. It was better than we expected. It went amazing. We had a fantastic turnout. I have never sold so much merch and stuff in my life. I went with a full suitcase and it was nearly empty when I came home. It was insane. And I could have sold more, but I actually ran out of shirts in some sizes. So
and it was great. Like front row, I could hear people singing along, see people just yelling out lyrics and just cheering and knowing when different pieces and parts were coming up. We did a special part of the show, which we're not going to be able to do a whole lot on the tour, but we got a full keyboard piano on stage for Nardi to do that part of the album where that is live, because obviously he's fantastic on the keys as well as guitar. So we were able to do that section as well, which was kind of a bit special because that was kind of like being able to do the whole story for that particular audience. And yeah, the crowd was amazing. God, they were just into it the whole time.
Nardi finished his piano part and everyone would chant, Nardi, Nardi, Nardi. The whole room chanting Nardi's name.
Yeah.
So I even made a cyborg head and pulled that out on stage with the wires sticking out of the head and marched around stage and then threw it into the audience and everyone was headbanging with this cut off head in the
yeah. So we've got a sick member, but one of the characters in the story is the CEO of the company. Her name's Eden Blaze. So that's her head. It's going to bounce around at concerts. So get to a show, you can get up close.
I don't know if I'll be able to bring her through the airport. They might be a bit suspicious.
Oh yeah, that'll be
a head going through my suitcase.
I think you're going to have a bit of trouble there. Yeah. Good, clean family fun. So you're coming down and gracing us 29th of April at the Gov in the Gibson Room. So that'll be a hell of a night with Shadow Realm, Nakatomi Plaza and the Loving Tongue. Hell, what a great night that's shaping up to be.
Yeah, we're really looking forward. I mean, Adelaide's always an awesome crowd, regardless. Like, I love coming down to you guys, over to you guys and playing because, it's always a fantastic night catching up with everyone. So we're super keen to get back and see you all.
It's a great lineup of bands too. I mean, that's a big night.
Yeah. So I saw online there's a UK tour coming up, UK and Europe. Tell us all about that, how that came about and what the plans are. Is there a plan?
Yeah, there is a plan. We've been planning it for quite some time. We were even planning touring England even back when we released Rapture. Could never get organised or get dates to get over there. Ritual Warfare, we were hoping to tour that album, but of course, due to circumstances out of our control, the world shut down and could not tour again overseas. So this time we are doing our absolute and utter best to make it happen. So I have literally got 2 dates in the UK locked in. I am hoping for at least 2 more because our original plan was to definitely do Europe, but I thought if we're going to go all this way, we might as well pop into the UK on the way over and see our fans and do, a few shows there and then hop over to Europe. So we're basically going to fly into the UK and play there and then hop over to Europe. And we have shows at the moment locked in Belgium and Switzerland. And I have a lovely friend in another band who is organising shows for us through Germany. I am also trying to get shows in Holland, but I just can't guarantee things at the moment. It's not easy we're new to that scene over there. I mean, people know us, but I think you've got to get over there and play once. We're starting from scratch again when you pop over to another country, really. You're not, until you've played there once. Once we've played there, apparently it's easy once you played there once. Everyone's like, come back, we'll book you. So we just got to get over there and get our heads into the scene, I think. And even woke up this morning to another fan going, why have I never heard of this band? 7 albums, blah, blah, blah. And then I wrote underneath, we're coming to Europe. And they're like, what? Can't believe we're coming. So I'm going to make it happen.
Are you on a support Are you as a support slot on someone else's tour? Or you're booking your own independent shows?
Nope. I could have booked there are always support slots available, but we want to go as our own band. We want to be, and I know we're only going to be playing smaller shows, but we want to be the headline band. We want to be that band. We don't want to be the support band all the time. You know what I mean? So when we go over to Europe and UK, we will have bands supporting us. And that's pretty special for us to be doing that. And yeah, we may be playing to less people, but we want to be the main band. We want to be, that band that is playing the headline shows. So
it's our comfort zone. We're a band that is comfortable with doing the graft. It's not just log on, turn up to a big stadium, walk on, walk off, thanks, job done. Actually, the challenge of actually booking our own stuff and doing the hard yards and managing those smaller shows and getting in amongst the people that turn up, those sort of grassroots people that get out and just support metal, don't just turn up because it's a big show. But actual metal fans that are just out there all the time, just loving the music, that's the sort of people that we seem to attach really well with. And they're sort of our comfort zone. We like getting in front of those people and seeing if we can impress them or get them on board and get them enjoying what we're doing. They're your challenge zone. And they give you the best feedback. And to succeed in that arena, gives you more of a feeling of accomplishment than just trolling around on the back of someone else's popularity. I mean, it's there as an option for people that want to do it, and I don't dispute it as a great marketing tool for getting your band out and seen by a lot of people, but it's just not the way we've done things, and it's not the way that we get sort of our sense of achievement.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, we'll be heavy metal about it when we're over there.
So, new album, Khaos Divine. How do people get a hold of it?
Well, Khaos Divine, yes, it is officially released now. Came out on the 17th of March. If people would like to buy the CD or even a shirt, they can personally message me or personally message the TEMTRIS page. And I have actually got on the TEMTRIS page the link to Wormhole Death's Oriel shop. So if you're overseas and you don't want to pay massive amounts for postage to get a CD from us, because postage, as we know, is insane at the moment, you can buy from the Wormhole Death Oriel shop and they will get you a CD through them. But if you'd like a signed copy from us, just shoot us a message. You can also jump onto the TEMTRIS page on the website, www.temtris.com, and it is available also on the website to order Khaos Divine through us. So yeah, CDs are $25 and we'll post one out if you can.
Rock and roll, and also available at shows provided you have a suitcase big enough.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about Europe. That's a whole nother kettle of fish.
Fucking good luck with that.
I sell out at one show in Sydney. I'm just thinking, what the hell do I take to fucking Europe? Jesus.
Hang on, what size are you? Large. You're large. Hang on, we'll screen print it for you now. Fucking.
Now. There you go. Lie down. I put on your chest. Wax your fur.
Excellent. So, fucking good luck with that. Great album. Really good luck with that. Good luck with all the tour. We'll see you here in a month or so. And good luck with Europe and the UK.
Thank you, Mal. Really appreciate your time having a chat with us again. Can't wait to catch up with you at a show and do some moshing.
Thanks, champion.
No worries, man. No worries, Jen. Thanks for chatting to me. We'll see you soon at the Gov in the Gibson Room with Shadow Realm and Nakatomi Plaza and The Loving Tongue. Can't wait. See you then.
Awesome. See you, Mal. Horns up.